recording. So my name is Jordana Taylor. I am the Associate Director for Recruitment, Engagement, and Volunteerism here at NASPA. So that's my name, my institution. I am technically on my third year with NASPA. I'm coming on my fourth starting this April. I work primarily with members, and so it's my job to make sure that all of our members, all 15,000 of them, have as personalized an experience as possible. And so many people will oftentimes reach out to me if they're looking for volunteer opportunities. If they're brand new members, I try to engage with them to see how I can make NASPA really work for them, just because we do have so many different areas at NASPA that I want them to be as educated as possible so that they can make the right choices for what resources are available for them that they can use. I work with you all, with our graduate associates. This is my second year working with the GAP program, and I'm really excited to be back. And I also work with our regional membership directors. So those of you who are familiar with your regions and the advisory board and the leadership within your regions, oftentimes I meet with their regional directors and our membership coordinators once a month, just to give them updates on membership, talk a little bit about recruiting strategies, retention strategies, all of those great higher ed buzzwords. And I'm here, and what I'm hoping to get out of this experience is to continue working with students. My previous roles in higher ed, I'll be going into my 18th year in higher education this April. And previously I was in enrollment management, working with undergraduate admissions and then graduate admissions, also working with student leadership groups like our student ambassadors, managing our student workers on campus, helping with orientation, first year program transitions. So this is my first job outside of a college campus, and it has worked out really well. I sometimes miss being on campus, but oftentimes remember why I left, and I'm happy to share with you those reasons if you're ever curious as to why I left, but I don't think I'm going to be gone forever, because I still very much find a lot of value in the work that's happening directly on campus with students. And so I will let you all know what my next career will be when that happens. But I'm actually going to go ahead and pass it on to whoever wants to go next. Just unmute yourself.
I can go next.
Okay, hi.
Hello, my name is Drew Bryant. I am at Mercer University here in Georgia, Macon, Georgia. I am in my second year. I'll be graduating a semester early, so I'll graduate in December. I work in campus life, but I mainly work with our fraternities and sororities here at Mercer. So I'm the PAN and IFC advisor, but I work with all four of our different councils at Mercer. And then I'm here because I really want to connect with other student affairs professionals, and I want to represent NASPA in a way that helps other student affairs aspiring professionals in our Mercer program cohort to understand the different resources that can benefit them and help them to find the right job for them and to learn the various skills that they need to be successful in those jobs. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Who wants to go next?
I can go. Hey everyone, my name is Robbie Miller. I am a second year grad student at Clemson University in Clemson, South Carolina. So I will graduate in May of 2020. Got like 260 something days left already. Yes, I'm counting down this soon. My assistantship is with fraternity sorority housing. So my primary responsibilities are to supervise our house managers and desk assistants that work at our community desk, and just the overall everyday operations for our Greek housing here at Clemson. I'm really excited to be back as a GAP. I was a GAP last year, so I'm excited that Jordana has asked me to return to spend time with you guys and not only continue to get to know the colleagues in my generation of the field, but also like learn from everyone, connect with different people, create new experiences, and continue to grow the GAP program essentially. So I'm excited.
Thanks, Robbie.
I can go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my name is Soraya Borgia. I go by they, them pronouns for y'all. I currently work at Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas, and I graduate May 2020, so almost there, 8 months to go. I am a hall director as well, so I work full-time on top of my graduate studies. And what I am hoping to get out of NASPA is to kind of branch outside of housing. Recently, I've just kind of been going to like SWCUHO, which is like my regional housing conference, and things along those lines. So I'm trying to branch out because I'm looking to transition out of housing and more into like multicultural and diversity offices and stuff like that. So I'm hoping this will allow me to kind of get a better understanding and knowledge of those areas, as well as creating those connections and networks.
Awesome, thank you.
I can go next. Hi everyone, my name is Abby Gilliland King. I'm starting my second year of my master's program at Kansas State University. So I should be graduating May 2020, which is really exciting. I'm kind of in a weird situation. I work 3/4 time for new student services. So I'm not in an assistantship, but I'm not full-time either. I work with our orientation and transition programs, as well as recruitment, and also oversee student staff. And then for my program, I'll be starting my practicum this fall with the Center for Student Involvement, doing assessment and things like that. And outside of that, for this program, I'm really hoping to kind of network with other professionals across the country. My whole background's in enrollment management, so I'm interested to get a better idea of perspectives across campus and how those can help develop me more as a professional.
Great, thank you.
I can go next.
Go ahead.
I'm the black box in everybody's chat. Okay, let me just address that. So I work in a very small office, and my student assistants are like directly behind me. So for their anonymity and this call, I'll just have the black box. So I'm like a mystery guest. You guys get to see what I look like. You're gonna have to go on my Twitter or something. So my name is Shara Coleman, and I work at California State University, Fresno. I'm a May 2020 grad, so I'm currently working on my MBA, my Master's in Business Administration here at Fresno State. I'm kind of a rare creature in higher ed because I am obtaining my MBA. So I took a shot and I was like, you know what, I'm still going to apply for this program. I'm sure a lot of folks in the program are not going to be MBAers, but I'm not planning on leaving and working at like a Fortune 500 company. That's like the last thing I want to do with my life. So yeah, I'm going to stay in higher ed most likely the rest of my life. So I would like to get to know other student affair professionals, especially young ones. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is my role at Fresno State currently, alongside going to school, is I'm full-time staff member in student affairs. I'm the coordinator for the Money Management Center on campus, so we do financial wellness on campus. And yeah, I oversee the student assistants, their peer mentors that reach out to students in this program, so that's kind of exciting. And yeah, I really just joined this, like I said, to be around other student affairs professionals. I feel like there's kind of a niche group of you all with specific backgrounds or majors, and the MBA and me might miss out on having that network with all of you if I wasn't part of NASPA. So I'm kind of excited to meet different folks from all over the country. And then also, I don't know if anyone's working on their thesis work or if anyone is going to be, I'd love to have like a little support group for that, because I'm the last person that did a thesis out of my college was, out of my College of Business, was 7 years ago. So I don't have, I'm looking at everybody's reactions. So I don't have like the support group. I'm kind of like on an island here. So even if it's just like checking in and making sure I'm like eating or something, that would be cool. So anyway, hi everybody, I'm Shara.
Shara, nice to meet you. And I am alongside with you. I'm the only one on our NASPA team that does not have a higher ed or student affairs education background. My master's is in literature, language, and the humanities. So,
Oh, wow.
but I love higher ed. Like I said, I've been here for 18 years, but I use it in other ways. But I think that's great. I think it'll help us get a little bit more perspective on the different roles that we all have, and that hopefully you'll be able to share some strategies that you're learning at the MBA level that might be helpful on the MA level as well. So thank
For
you so
sure.
much. All right, who's up next?
I can go next. Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Shanita and I am at Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And I currently am in my second year. I'll be graduating in May of 2020 in the College Student Personnel Services program. I have kind of an unconventional background. This will be my second master's. I have a master's in mass communication. Oh, did something happen? Everybody's
Sorry, we can still hear you.
okay. So, like I said, I have a background in mass communication, so I kind of come from a communications background. I work as a graduate assistant in multicultural affairs, so I get a chance to work on cultural programming. I've been assigned to do things with the Spanish Heritage Month that's coming up, Black History Month and Women History Month and things like that. So we have a lot of things that I'm excited about this year. We just expanded our team. Let's see. Why am I here? I'm here to network. And also learn more about NASPA. I've been a member of NASPA since last year, but I didn't really get a chance to do as much of the activities as I wanted. I am a part of the constituent group for Women in Student Affairs, so I help with the blog with that, but I really want to get more involved with NASPA and also to connect with more professionals.
Great, thank you and welcome. Who's next?
I'll go ahead and go next. Hello.
Whoever wants to go. That was kind of a fun echo.
Hi, I can go. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Danielle Terry, and I'm a second year graduate student and graduate assistant at North Central College in Naperville, Illinois. My assistantship is in the honors program. So with that, I get to do a lot of programming with the honor students around health, wellness, being able to enjoy recreation because sometimes honor students get a little bit busy. But also this past summer, I did a practicum in the Department of Engaged Learning at Roosevelt University in Chicago, Illinois. And that also kind of plays into what I do. I help to create engaged learning opportunities within the classroom, but then outside of the classroom as well. And let's see, I wanted to be a part of this program because I wanted to be more involved with NASPA. I was a Dungy Leadership Institute participant in 2017, and so NASPA is like running through my veins, and I couldn't get enough of being a part of a larger community that is focused on helping students get through college.
Well, welcome back. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, who's up next?
I can go ahead and go next. Hi, everybody. My name is Stephen Hosberg, and I am a graduate assistant for the residential colleges here at Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, Arizona. I work within the housing department, but it's sort of separate. We have like a living learning community model, so I do a lot of work with academic colleges and connecting them with the first year students who are living in the halls. I am a second year grad, so I will also be graduating in May 2020. So close, so excited. And then what I'm hoping to get out of NASPA, the GAP program, is like everybody else, I really want to network with other student affairs professionals. And then the Counseling and Student Affairs program here at NAU, which is a program that I'm a part of, has a lot of different like clubs and activities that they do that are outside of NASPA. So I'm hoping to get the whole school a little bit more connected.
Awesome, thank you. Mike, I think I saw you unmute before, calling you out. Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, hi.
Okay. I'm working on a different speaker and headphone jack. That's why. So hi, everybody. My name's Mike Droll. I go to the University of Rochester. I'm in my second year in their master's program for student affairs and career and academic advising. I currently work full-time in residential life, working as an administrator for both the fraternity quad resident director and the first year quad resident director. So I get a good view of two different sides of the coin here. It's very different populations, but it's a lot of fun. And I was interested in getting involved in NASPA for the GAP program because one of my coworkers did this last year, talked very highly of it, and I figured, yeah, why not? I love the network. I love meeting new people. I love connecting with new people. I want to hear about what everybody else is doing, what different organizations have to offer, what different institutions do. And I love student affairs. I love working with students. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be exciting.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, there's 5 left of y'all. All right, hi, Brittany.
Hi. Hey, y'all. My name is Brittany. I go to the Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville. I'm in the higher ed program here, and my assistantship is currently in community engagement and service learning programs. And then I also just finished a practicum with summer conference housing at the University of Houston. Very, very hot in comparison. And why am I here? To just continue to build my support network of future professionals, and I guess like different involvement. We're about to start our research, so probably just get to talking to folks about different things that are interesting to them, different areas that may not be as well researched as others, brainstorming, picking out brains, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. My program is very new, so while some of our faculty is super involved, the students aren't as involved as they could be. So just to continue to increase that awareness and visibility of professional associations in our program.
Great, thank you.
I can go next.
Hello.
Hi. So I'm Delasia Rice, and I attend here's my baby. Sorry. I attend the college at Rockport. It's an online program. It's also where I graduated with my undergrad. It's my first year going into it. I'm from New York City, so I'm doing an internship out here in a career services office at the Metropolitan College of New York. And I'm here because I was also a NASPA undergraduate fellow, and I was able to do Dungy leadership. And everything I've heard with NASPA is, it's for, the old white people. So I just want to, make sure people know it's for, younger, diverse people, because I've met a lot of them. And, I've also been thinking I might want to go out from the whole college campus thing, but still keep in the field of higher education. So that's what I'm hoping to learn.
Thank you. I also appreciate being called young and grouped into this group of young people. Robbie's laughing. Robbie knows me already after having a year with me, so she knows my jokes. Well, welcome, Delasia. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, our final 3. Who wants to go next?
I can go. Hi, I'm Giovanna. I'm going to be a second year at Syracuse University in our higher education master's program. I'm also graduating in May 2020. At least that's when I'll walk the stage. I don't get my diploma until June or July. But my assistantship is in the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Affairs. I'm actually walking into a brand new position because we just hired 4 new staff as well as 2 new graduate assistants. So they're reworking my entire program because they've never had more than 2 GAs. So this year we'll have 3. So I no idea what I'm walking into, but I'm kind of really excited about it because there's a lot of opportunity for growth as well. And one of the things I want to get out of this experience is gain more connections with the outside programs and also meet people from programs around the United States as well, because a lot of the people we meet in our program, especially being in the middle of upstate New York, is just our people since we're so far from everything else. But I'm hoping to gain more experience and just meet a lot more people.
Great, thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Kayla.
Hey. So my name is Kayla Hubbard. I attend the University of Memphis. And so I started in January and I'll graduate December 2020. So I'm a half semester grad student at this point. And my assistantship is in recruitment and orientation. So this past summer has been kind of crazy with orientations, and we're on our 19th one and about to finish our 20th one, which will be our last call in 2 weeks. But it's been really fun. I get to supervise around 20 student leaders, and they have been the best part of it all. Next semester, or even in the summer right now, I'm working with my practicum in fraternity and sorority affairs. And so mainly working with the All Greek Programming Board, where they have students from each council sit on the board. And so that's going to be really fun. And I am excited about this just because my cohort is extremely, extremely small. And a lot of people in my cohort are a lot older and have been like working for a very long time. And so I'm excited to meet people that are my age and kind of just share ideas and opinions and opportunities.
Great, thank you. And I think we just have Steph and Randall.
Yeah, so I am also a black box. Currently I'm not, but my roof is getting worked on. So I'm making weird faces, and that's why, for the most part, I will be a black box. But for now, my name is Stephanie Malpica. My pronouns are she, hers. I go to school at Shippensburg University, which is in Pennsylvania. This is actually my final semester. I think someone else said they were graduating this semester, so samesies. I actually just finished an internship at Central Pennsylvania's Community College Gettysburg campus. My assistantship is with the Sociology and Anthropology department at Shippensburg. And I'm here because my program is organizational development and leadership, so I don't have student affairs or higher education. In my scope, there is a concentration, but I chose a different concentration. Regardless, I am still interested in student affairs. I've always wanted to work in student affairs. I just did not choose student affairs as my program. So this is my supplement, I suppose.
Awesome, thank you for sharing. And then I think we just have Randall. Randall, welcome.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay, cool. Nice to meet everybody. My name is Randall Yamoka, and I'm originally from Hawaii, but I am in my second year of the International Education Management program at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey. So interesting enough about I would say our program is that technically I finished my coursework this semester, but I would have to do a practicum next semester, but I walked this semester. So it's a really weird thing about our program. However, currently I am working with the advancement team and planning to apply for other graduate assistant positions with the institutional partnership senior director, and just serve on different committees, the mental health committee and academic journal committee. So why am I here? So our school doesn't really have a higher education kind of administration program. We have courses. We have a half semester course that I took that I really liked. I'm actually a part of NAFSA, that's the Association for International Educators. So why did I want to apply for this position is, as what everyone else said, that I wanted to kind of meet other fellow people that really love students. And since my kind of field is international education management, I kind of deal with people quite often, and I would love to keep on dealing with a lot of students. And for me, I'm a pretty strong mental health advocate, as well as there's a lot of things that I'm currently going through that has kind of wanted me to do more research of mental health issues and everything. And what do I expect, or what do I want to get out of this experience, is just to kind of understand more about NASPA in general, and seeing everyone else's work, and just communicating and networking around the world. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So thank you everybody for taking the time to introduce yourselves. This is obviously a very small part of what is going to end up being a much larger cohort. So right now we have about 45 of you total, and we are likely going to get a few dozen more in, but it's likely not going to be more than 100 total. But as you can already see just from the conversation that we've just had now, we are all coming from very varied backgrounds all over the United States, from different types of programs. But I think that is really a reflection of where higher education is really going right now, as well as student affairs, is that we're not just our functional areas anymore. We are very much sort of cross-pollinating to different places. You know, we need to know about mental health services in order to be an effective hall director. We need to know about multicultural centers in order to be an effective career services advisor. So there are all of these different intersectionalities that are happening in the work that you all are doing and the backgrounds that you're bringing. So I certainly hope that you will continue to talk to one another and share these things with one another as the year goes on. So I'm just going to do sort of just a very brief overview of expectations for this year, and hopefully maybe answer some questions if we have some time. But your role officially begins on August 26th, and it says through June 15th because some people have varied end dates for their programs. But as one of the big things is obviously attend one of these orientations, which you are doing right now. So check, you've done that. You do need to be a current NASPA member. So you have until August 26th if you haven't renewed your membership, if you haven't purchased a membership yet. It is $37 for your graduate membership, but you are welcome to do, you have until the 26th essentially to get that started. Participate in the minimum of 5 monthly conference calls. So this is a change from last year. Typically we do a call every month, and every month I wanted to, what I started doing was trying to have a topic around things that were happening either with NASPA or happening in higher education. So I recognize that there are going to be some months that are going to be easier than others for you. So instead of having you attend every month, now you can attend every single month if you feel that the content and the information is going to be really important and beneficial to what you are doing. But all I'm asking is attending a minimum of 5 monthly calls. So the monthly calls will begin in September and run through June. And so each month I'll put something out. I know that's kind of unfair and that you don't know what all the other months are, but I'm hoping to actually try to get as many months ahead scheduled so you can at least see what those topics are. But if you can come to at least 5 of these, that would be great. Another thing that you're going to be required to do is to reach out to NASPA members on your campus. So once a month, hopefully when my intern starts, because like many of you, I very much rely on the help of others to get any of my job done, is I'll be sending out names of brand new NASPA members who are either going to be on your campus, if you have a campus that has a lot of new members joining, in your city, in your state, or in your region, depending on where you are. Some of you all are in more rural areas, some are in more populated spaces. And by reaching out, I don't mean you have to like set up a meeting with them, do a whole to-do. It could just be a quick email that says, Dear Jordana, welcome to NASPA. I happen to be the graduate associate member here on this campus, and I see that you're a new member of NASPA. If you have any questions or would like me to help connect you to somebody on NASPA staff, please let me know. XOXO, Jordana Taylor. I mean, it's super quick. It at the most, would maybe take up an hour a month of your time, if you wanted to really spread out that conversation. Occasionally, I will ask you to provide us with some feedback on programs and services that you as graduate students need. Some of you are in varied programs. Some of you are looking to get a variety of different things out of NASPA and out of the GAP program. So every couple of weeks or so, I might just ask you to just provide me some type of feedback if you feel that graduate students need a certain level of support that you haven't seen and that other associations haven't given. Those are the kinds of things that I might be reaching out for you. We would like for you to promote NASPA at upcoming events. So if you're going to be at a regional conference, for example, we'd like for you to find ways to promote NASPA there, whether it's to volunteer at that event, if you're going to be presenting at that event. We've had several GAPs in the past who presented about being part of a professional association at the graduate level. If there are big NASPA things that are happening, I might send you all out some information about it. It'd be great for you to publicize it to your cohort if there's a listserv, if there's a Facebook group, if there's anything. And then obviously Careers and Student Affairs Month is in October. So if there are big NASPA events that are happening, I'll share those with you all via email, the Facebook group, and the GroupMe chat. And all that I ask is that you share that out as well. This is something that I know a lot of you had questions about. This coordinating a minimum of 3 events throughout the year, including one during CSAM, or Careers and Student Affairs Month. Those events are not necessarily like a full-on like tabling, pizza kind of event. This can be anything, and we'll talk a little bit more about this over the next couple of weeks. This can be any type of event in which you are either promoting the work that you're doing as a graduate student, the student affairs profession as a whole. So, a lot of people may not realize that you can make what maybe started out as an undergrad leadership position into a professional job. Many people don't realize that being working in residence life, for example, some folks may not realize that that is actually a real job that people have, like as a day-to-day thing. So, the number of ways you can do this. You can do this as some of you may have already seen the social media takeovers that you can do. So Robbie, actually, since she is a second year, you can certainly reach out to her because she helped me sort of curate some highlights from the different schools. But one of the things you can do is either take over for the day and just have everybody just follow you from the moment you get up in the morning and do whatever that is, whether that's coffee, dropping your kids off at daycare, picking up dry cleaning, wrangling your students because there's a fire alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is. I know that you all have very varied mornings on your day-to-day until the end of your day. So it could be just a very generic, like, follow me, here's the day in the life of Jordana. You can make it more specific into follow me and see what I do specifically in my job. So you can really theme it around that. Or you can really just promote your program. So some of you are in programs it sounds like are brand new or might be the first or second year. So this is a chance for you to promote your program, and that would count as one of your events. You could present about NASPA to your cohort. If there's an opportunity to talk about NASPA in your class and you present to your graduate cohort, that would count. So there's a number of ways that you can do it, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, and I'll try to give you all a list and some examples, and I'll list that out in the Facebook group as well. But the coordinating a minimum of 3 events throughout the year shouldn't be too difficult because you're probably already doing things like maybe hosting webinars. If for those of you who are in career services, you might be already talking about resume work, for example. You can just attach that to something that is a GAP program. So you can just say, we're going to do this resume workshop, and we're going to do it in October, and boom, you've got your Careers in Student Affairs Month event done. So it doesn't have to be something that reaches like hundreds of people. It could just be also a brown bag lunch where you get your staff together, whether it's your GAs and professional staff and students. NASPA has lots of free webinar and like on-demand content. We, for example, do a weekly policy briefing for those of you who might be interested in higher ed policy or just public policy in general. You can watch that with your staff for 30 minutes, and that would count as one of your events, because really what you're doing is you're promoting NASPA in one way or another, and it doesn't have to be a full-on thing. Now, last year we did have some students who created an entire conference. Like they had like a whole day where they brought people in and talked about student affairs, talked about NASPA, talked about professional engagement. That's great. That is certainly not the expectation, but if you happen to have the time and you're going to do it anyway and you'd like to attach it as part of one of your GAP events, the more the merrier. I'm happy to send you as much swag and giveaways as I have left over. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you are doing something that's in person, or you're going to be tabling, or you're going to be at an event and you would like some NASPA materials to be sent to you, I need a minimum of 3 weeks to get that shipped out, but that's certainly something that we can talk about providing. And then obviously provide regular updates to program members and NASPA staff about your outreach efforts. That's me. I am regular. I am NASPA staff in this case. So, and we're going to be doing that via our event reporting tool, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And then I put other duties as needed because there might be something where you know, President Kruger, for example, decides that he'd really like some input or attendance with graduate students. And that's something that he would like me to reach out to the GAPs for. So that might come up in the future. So I put that. You can also look at that as other duties as assigned. This is not meant to be a time suck volunteer position for or leadership position for any of you. As I mentioned to someone earlier, if you're spending more than 3 hours a month on GAP related things, I mean like actual GAP work, not like posting funny memes on Facebook or like asking advice in your group me text, like that's not like actual GAP work. That's just all of y'all getting together and figuring your lives out. If you're spending more than 3 hours a month on anything that's like very GAP specific, we need to talk, because you should not be spending 3 hours a month. If you want to spend all of your time on GAP, that is also up to you. The more the merrier. I always love to have any kind of help. And if you find that there is something that I'm doing with the program that can be made more efficient, or that you can provide your area of expertise in, please let me know. I am not an expert in everything or much of anything really. So I'm relying on all of you to let me know if there's something that I'm doing that could be made better by the work that you're already doing on your campus, or something that you maybe are already familiar with. So this whole Instagram versus Twitter thing, you can do both. So you can do an Instagram takeover and a Twitter ask me anything, but you have to make them different. You have to show me that they're going to be different. So if you're going to do like a day in the life of Jordana on Instagram and then like a Twitter ask me anything, you have to make sure that those are just a little bit different. I will say Twitter as a platform can sometimes be a little bit more difficult because it doesn't have the same visual cues that Instagram has. But if you are a Twitter powerhouse, by all means, you can certainly do that. And I know that I had sent you all the opportunity to sign up for dates to do those. I did limit the Twitter engagement to once a month, whereas Instagram, we can do that daily, just because we also want to make sure that we're varying some of our content. But if somebody is like really gung-ho and really wants to do Twitter at the same time somebody else wants to do Twitter, we can certainly talk about that. And then again, like I said, you can theme these. You can showcase your school. You can like follow your favorite professor around like all day on Instagram and just like do a whole, a whole thing on them. So the purpose of it is to have fun, but also to engage others. Again, we really are here to showcase the work that student affairs professionals are doing, or future student affairs professionals can be doing, and to show them, like somebody said, that the face of NASPA isn't just old white men sitting around a conference room table, that we are a lot more diverse. We are a lot more diverse in age, in our backgrounds, our education, our experiences. And I think that is one of the great strengths that NASPA has. And so the more that we can showcase that, especially through social media, for me is a really powerful tool for us to all be able to use. The only required engagement is that has to happen is between the end of September and the end of October, and this is in Careers and Student Affairs Month. So you have to do something between this time frame. And again, like I said, that could be holding a brown bag lunch, that could be creating a blog post, that could be your social media takeover, that could be if for any of you all who are NUF alums, do you know who the NUFs on your campus are? And have you had a chance to connect with them? If there are no NUFs on your campus, and you find that out by reaching out to me, but if there's never been a NUF on your campus, or you don't even know what NUF is, this is an opportunity to maybe set up an information session, right? To say, like, let me share with you the work that NASPA does through the NASPA Undergraduate Fellows Program. We'd like to be able to open up the student affairs profession to those from either minority groups or underrepresented groups, or folks who may not necessarily have had the exposure to student affairs as a profession just as readily as some others may have. So we want you to use this Careers and Student Affairs Month as an opportunity to share maybe some of the work that you've been able to do, or how you've been able to grow from, through NASPA. You could do a networking event. Those are hard. And networking can also be really stressful because there's the expectation that you have to make small talk with a lot of people, have icebreakers, have, tabletop signs and all sorts of things. But networking doesn't necessarily have to happen in person either. You can host like a online happy hour. That's something that has happened in the past, where somebody basically created like a free like Google Hangouts with people in their cohort and another institution, where at like 6 o'clock on like a Friday night, everybody sort of showed up with whatever beverage or meal of their choice, and like they just used that as like a moment to just vent about all the things that were happening in student affairs and things that they were nervous about, whether it was writing their thesis or finding a job or finding an internship. And so you can really be very creative in Careers and Student Affairs Month. And if you want to bounce your ideas off of me, I'm happy to vet them for you, put them in the Facebook group, put them in the GroupMe chat, use your peers here within the GAP group to be able to come up with some of those ideas. Now, you are going to be reporting everything. So I can share with you all this little fun infographic. It's a little bit dated, and I say dated because it was like in 2016, which in some people's minds can be like 1,000 years ago. Oops. But it's basically like how do you explain what student affairs is, like when you go home for Thanksgiving and this is your first year, or if it's been your second year and you still don't know how to explain to your friends and family what it is that you do. This is kind of a fun little infographic that I can share with you. And then you will be entering the work that you do in our reporting tool. And I will be sending everybody a link to that. Sorry, 1 second. And you can see you'll just put your first name, last name, your email, and then like what type of event. And you can use the types of event as an opportunity to kind of brainstorm what it is that you might want to do. You do have to submit just one entry per event, so you can't just put all 3 things in one entry. I will be doing a check after the fall semester just to see. Hopefully by the end of this semester, you've at least done one. If not more, that's great. And if you're having trouble managing because life gets in the way and the semester starts, and then you realize, especially if you're working with first-year students, that you are expected to entertain them and get them all just hyped about school for like the first 6 weeks of school, like just let me know. Let me know what it is that you need, or if you feel like your commitments are getting in the way of you being able to commit to this, and we can get creative and see what it is that we can do. The monthly calls, like I said, these are meant to introduce you to various parts of NASPA. So we are going to have a presentation with our Center for First Generation Student Success, our emergency aid, which is called Student ARC. I'm going to be asking our foundation, Lucy Fort with the NASPA Foundation, to talk to you all a little bit about what the foundation does. Essentially, those of you working or who have worked in alumni relations or development, or who've already been hit up by your undergrad institutions for donations, foundations. NASPA itself also has a development arm in which we use the funds that the foundation provides for scholarships and grants for undergraduate and graduate and PhD students to do research. I'll be having them join us to talk a little bit about the work that they're doing. I'm hoping to have some of our board members, regional board members, from our board chair, Denzel Washington, all the way to the regional members, do some type of meeting as well, because I'd like for you all to have a chance to get some FaceTime with them. And then in February, we will be doing a meeting call around TPE, or the placement exchange, for those of you who are familiar with that, especially if you are going to be beginning the job search. The director of TPE, Kirsten, has been great and has done this for us before. So this is also a chance for you all to ask Kirsten very specific questions about TPE and sort of like what to do when you're on that job hunt. And so if you can think ahead of time, specifically, Jordana, it'd be really great. I don't know anything about this part of NASPA, or I'd like to learn more about this part of student affairs or higher education. Let me know, and we can certainly see if we can schedule that as part of it. In October, we are going to be doing a very Careers and Student Affairs Month centered calls, and so we're going to have some GAP alums talk about their experience. We're going to have some current GAPs and previous GAPs also talk about looking for internships or what their internships were like, so you can also get an idea of the variety of jobs and internships and opportunities that our GAPs have had a chance to be part of. And we're going to have multiple calls in October, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to hopefully be able to join one. If you are a first year GAP member, I would like to encourage you to come back for a second year, like Robbie. This is a new thing. We typically never did this, but I do have a handful of returners this year, and their role, if they want to be a mentor or a peer mentor in many ways, is to do exactly what's on the slide. So provide some type of guidance on GAP and NASPA. They've already had a year under their belt learning a little bit about what NASPA does that maybe they didn't know before, so they can sort of really help you with that. They can be somebody you can just connect with. We talked about having support groups and smaller groups, so we're going to take this big GAP group and get it even smaller underneath some of our volunteer mentors. And it's really a chance to really become a little bit closer and develop better networks and relationships. So I'll be rolling out more information about that as well in the coming weeks. And then communication, there are many ways to get a hold of me. I've already shared with you all my email, ways to text me, to call me if you need me. If you haven't already joined GroupMe, that's a great way to just talk to one another. Robbie can probably attest to the fact that last year's GroupMe is still very active, and people are still sharing their highs, their lows, their needs. And hopefully that's something that will continue on. So it is a lot of messaging going back and forth, but it's also a nice way to just kind of reach out immediately if you need someone to talk to. We are going to be on Facebook, so if you have had a chance to join the Facebook group, great. I'll be posting there pretty regularly. That's a place for you all to also share things that you're doing, accomplishments, needs, wants, etc. And then I'll be sending out weekly emails. Some of the emails are going to be really detailed with upcoming things. I send them out once a week, and I usually recap them. And so go ahead and filter jtaylor@naspa.org to go into a nice folder somewhere in your inbox, so that way you have a place to find all these GAP emails if you haven't already done that. Mainly because you'll get those weekly emails, so it's a nice place to kind of go back and forth. And then finally, one of the biggest benefits of being a GAP this year is that anyone in the current GAP cohort can apply to become an annual conference intern. We take 8 interns every year, and it's a great opportunity. As we get closer to this, I will be asking last year's interns to hopefully share their experiences, both the good and the bad. It's a great way for you to sort of see the behind the scenes role that NASPA plays in putting on a conference for over 7,000, sometimes 8,000 people, and having over 800 sessions and really kind of taking over a city for a couple of days. And so if you're interested, we will be making applications available at the beginning of November, which is a little bit earlier. And I will be notifying those who have been selected before the end of the year, because I'd like for people to have enough time to make plans. Austin, or our annual conference this year, is late. It is at the end of March. And so please keep that in mind in terms of your commitments. If you are a graduating student, this is coming up on your practicums and your thesis statements and proposals and papers, and trying to go to job interviews as well. So, but you have to be able to commit to travel to and from Austin, Texas between March 27th and April 1st. Those are not the final dates, but that's the date range in which we will likely need our interns to be able to commit to. You do receive a $400 stipend to cover expenses, and so that typically most interns will use that to cover their flight. Some of them have already received flight coverage as professional development dollars elsewhere. So they that's just $400 that you can use to cover for whatever. We do cover your housing. We do cover the cost of attending the conference, because we will carve out some time so that way you can attend some sessions while you're in Austin as well. So, but it's pretty intense. It's an intense experience. I'm calling Robbie out again because she just happens to be here, but Robbie was a conference intern last year. So those of y'all want to reach out to Robbie, you certainly can, and ask about her experience if she's willing to share. But that is essentially it in terms of what I'm expecting from all of you all this year. Our September call is going to be like a big NASPA 101. Like, this is what big NASPA does. This is everything about NASPA you need to know that you can share. But what I'll probably do is send you all a copy of my Google Slides about that, so you can start combing through it. Actually, I will go ahead and put a copy of, you can use, so for those of you all who are thinking, I want to do a NASPA 101 session, and I recognize we have 5 minutes left in our call, this is not updated with some things for 2019. Some of it's 2018 information. But you are welcome to take this information. You can either use the slide like as is and just like present it like to your cohort. But I will be updating this after I get back from vacation. By the way, I'm on vacation from the 15th to the 23rd, so I will be highly unresponsive. I have asked my team to not contact me unless someone dies or I get fired. I don't know. I mean, somebody else gets fired from work. Like, I'm so sorry, but like, those are the only two reasons to please contact me between the 15th and the 23rd. But if you do need anything GAP related while I am on vacation, you can contact my colleague Colleen Doherty. She will be on my away message thing. But if you text me, I will probably text you back. And I promise not to hold a grudge against you for contacting me during vacation. But that's basically it. GAP is really fun. It's pretty low key. It's a great opportunity. Really, for me, I think it's a great opportunity for you all to meet one another and see what other grad students are doing across the country. The work that you're doing in residence life in one coast is probably not the same in a different coast. And the students that you are serving in your area are going to be vastly different from the students that someone is serving in, say, a more urban setting or a more rural setting. So take this as an opportunity to feel out what it is that you want to do when you are done with graduate school. Because it might not necessarily be exactly what you had planned. Somebody had mentioned earlier, maybe transitioning out of housing into maybe different functional areas, which is great. I would love to maybe go, like I said, I have like 3 more careers ahead of me in my lifetime. And I think my next career is going to be in community colleges, because I really respect the work that they do. And I used to do a lot of work with TRIO and Project Discovery and Avid. Yes, TRIO, I see you. So, you know, those are some of the things that I love in higher ed. But again, I don't know where I'm going to be. but you'll get to know me. I am more than happy to answer any questions you have. I have 4 kids, and so usually when I tell people that like my day ends at a certain day, I'm a very hard stop on that. You all should be too. Work on that mental health, okay? Work on that self-care. Part of that is like turning everything off when your day is over. But I use my children as an excuse to not talk to people after my work hours. If my work hours say I'm done at 6, I am done at 6, whether or not my children are here. Sometimes they're at soccer practice, and I just need that hour to like not talk to anybody and watch Bravo. So thank you so much for taking the time to learn a little bit more about each other and to learn about me. I will be in touch with all of you soon. Oh, and the other 2 things I forgot, if you are a brand new GAP, you will be receiving the Beginning Your Student Affairs Journey book. It's fun, it's nice, it's some light reading. You can highlight it, cool. If you are a returning GAP, I will be reaching out to you individually because we will talk about a different publication for you. And you all are also going to get t-shirts, which I've already designed, and I have already like early this year because I learned from last year and was able to kind of fix out some kinks. And so I will be letting you all know when those are ready. I just need my team, the Rev team, to give the okay on the design that I would like to have for all of you, but I want to be as collaborative as possible, but I still think I get the final say. So trust me, the design is super cute. It's going to be fun. You can wear that to all of your GAP events and the things that you're going to be doing and just rep NASPA and GAP. But if you need anything from me between now and then, just let me know. Connect with one another, say hello to each other on GroupMe on Facebook, however you want to, and I will be in touch. So have a great rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the country. And welcome to NASPA GAP 2019-2020. See you later.
Take care.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.